Hello everyone, and today we are going to be making the soap Snuggie. So to make the soap Snuggie, I used the Premier cotton yarn, this guy that I've been showing you in other videos, this big cone that is 700 yards, 85 cotton, 15 polyester. So it's fine to make kitchen items out of if you want, hot pads, that kind of thing. This yarn will work because it's 85% cotton, and that's what we need in order to not have our work melt. So anyway, to make the soap Snuggie, I also used a 5mm hook. If you are a tight crocheter, you may want to go up on this. And one of the things that I just want to bring your attention to is in the instructions, it's going to say chain 11 or length needed for your bar of soap. And so I have this big, beautiful bar, and it's from the Naked Goat Farm here in Colorado. Oatmeal, tangerine, roseberry, goat milk soap. So this is a big bar. I mean, look at that. Look at my fat finger. So this is a huge bar of soap. So when I made the bottom of this, I made sure to chain it long enough that I could put the bar in. Now you could also make this soap Snuggie this way. So you would make the bottom long like that, and then you could just leave open this side and make a little flap, and then you could leave this side open, put your bar in so that it went in that way, and then bring a loop over the top, whatever you want. Now I have soap stuff all over. And the closure, I just made really, really easy for myself. I used double crochets so that no matter how thick the bar was, I could just put the button through at any space. And this button, y'all are going to laugh at me when I show you how I made it, but whatever. So anyway, let's get started on the soap Snuggie. And this PS smells delicious. So anyway, let me get all of my soap gunk off of here. So in order to do this, I just used one strand of cotton. It's a 4-weight cotton with my 5mm hook. And here, see how it's coming apart? This is why I always tie a knot in my end, because I don't like the frayed edges. There we go. So anyway, so we are just going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And I can count. I know, that's super cool. You guys are super excited that I shared that with you. Anyway, so here we have our chain of 11, or the length needed for your bar of soap. This was my bar of soap, was chain 11. So round 1, we are just going to single crochet in each of the stitches. So just going to go right into that first stitch and single crochet. And I just feel like talking, so I'm just gonna, for the love of all that is holy, I'm not gonna lie, this cotton yarn, I don't mind working with it, but it does split. And I think most cotton yarns do. So, I'm not hating all over it or anything. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. And I gotta tell you, when I first got this Premier home cotton, I was like, okay, so it'll be good for dishes and everything. But I gotta tell you, it is really soft. So for 700 yards, I don't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't a ton. The bamboo, cotton bamboo that I got from Premier, no, from Lion Brand. While it feels amazing, and there were 1,000 yards on it, it was $30. This was not. at all that much. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of dig it. And they had tons of different colors and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, just for your information, that's that. Okay, so you get to the end of your row, and instead of turning, we are going to put 2 more single crochets in this last stitch. So it's a total of 3 single crochets in the last stitch. And instead of turning our work, now we're just going to work down this back side of our foundation chain. Look at that big old stitch. Crazy lady. Yeah, I'm not taking it out to fix that. Sorry. Okay, so then we are going to go into, and this is always a little bit wiggly. Just go into a stitch that you see and do a single crochet. Just like that, all the way down what is called the back side of your foundation chain. Okay, so we're just gonna go down here for our stitches and get a little bit more yarn. And there's my giant stitch. That was a loose one. That's okay. So the other great part about making this kind of stuff is that it does not have to be perfect. Because it's not like perfect. It's not like a sweater or anything. It's just this kind of cool thing that you're making, and people are gonna love it and appreciate it. So don't worry about the perfection part. Okay, so now we just work down the opposite side of our starting chain to our last chain, and we're going to put 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in that last stitch, and then we're just going to go over here, see this first stitch right there, and we're just going to slip stitch to join it. So there you have the bottom of your work. And so for round 2, we are going to single crochet in, so chain 1, single crochet into that first, into the same spot as our slip stitch. And then we are going to crochet around, single stitch, and you can use a marker here if you need to. I'm not, just because I know, well, you know what, maybe I will, just to show you my sweet little markers. Hang on. Okay, so here is my stitch marker, and I put it in that first stitch where I did the slip stitch and then the single crochet. And this sweet little ducky, this stitch marker I got from Rose Likes Crochet, and I will link her information down below. She has a YouTube channel and an Etsy shop, and she really loves purple. So, and she's super great. She has great videos. So anyway, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. And by all the way around, I mean that we are not going to be turning our work. This is all done in the round. So that's what I mean by all the way around. We just keep following this guy. And if you've never done anything like this, it can feel a little tricky at first, because you're going down the back side and you're like, it feels weird because I'm not going back and forth anymore. But it's okay. Trust me, just stick with it. So now right here, because it's an end, we normally would add extra, do a few extra single crochets, but we're not going to, because what we really want is for this to start pulling and turning up. So so the edges here will start to pull up. If we keep adding single crochets to make this, it would just lay really nice and flat. So we don't want that. So yeah, we actually want our edges to start moving on us. So we're just going to keep going around and just doing some little single crochets. So I hope all of you are doing well. I am kind of crazy right now, getting ready to pack. I mean, you know, most trips you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll just take blah, blah. And you're fine, right? There's always a Walgreens around the corner or a Target or something that, you know, you can always grab something that you need. I am going to Italy though for work, and I'll be there for 10 months, which is really exciting. But packing is so crazy. I already have I have a suitcase, actually 2 suitcases and a box for my husband to mail over to me, because if you know anything about the military and being a contractor, most contractors are directly contracted with the Department of Defense, and so their families actually travel with them. I am contracted through another company, and so I don't get to bring anybody with me, which sort of sucks, because, you know, let me just look here at what I am having issues with. I don't really think that's a stitch. That's why I'm having issues with it. So this is where my stitch marker is. So we are going to just go into that stitch and slip stitch. So for the next round, round 3, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We can remove the stitch marker now. That was really the only time you need it, or not. I mean, you might not need it, which is perfectly fine too. So now we have our chain 3, which is going to count as one of our double crochets. And now we are just going to do double crochets in each stitch around. So it's not this, as you can tell, people, this is not hard. One thing that I wanted was to make a spa set that even beginners could make. And so that was how I designed this. I'm not going to lie. The poof, the big, you know, the body poof thing, that tested my patience, but, it worked out. And so it's it's just a thing, and we'll get to that in a later video. So anyway, all you do here is just keep going around and around and around, creating this little pouch for your soap. And you could make one, a really small one, and give like handbars of little pretties or something. Although I don't know why you'd want to put a little pretty soap in this, because then you won't be able to see it, you know. So anyway, as I'm going around here, you're probably noticing that it's just creating, oops, if I were in frame you could see, it's sort of turning up on the edges, and that's what we want. And that's why we didn't add those extra single crochets when we were going around rows 1 and 2. So this is basically the last, I was going to say the last row. It's the repeat row. There we go, April. And then she learned how to speak English, and it was wonderful. So, yeah, so I'm just going to keep going around here. So my family doesn't travel with me to Italy. I think my husband's going to try and come and visit, which will be great. My kids, my daughter's going to be in the military. So how fun would that be if she ended up at the same base that I'm at? Anyway, it probably won't happen. But so notice here how this looks, right? This is my original chain that I chained 3. And I'm still, even though it looks a little bit wonky, I'm still going to go over here, go into that stitch and slip stitch. And here again, we're just going to chain 3 and do the same thing. And so you're just going to do all, whoa, Stella, what was that? There we go. So you're just going to do double crochets around and around until you get to the size that you want. See, just all the double crochets. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and then I did 2 rows of single crochet at the top. So, but I'm not going to show you that because y'all know how to do single crochets. And I did that just to give it a little more body up here. So do however many rows of double crochet that you need to fit your bar of soap, and then 2 rows of single crochet at the top. It also gives us a little something more to put the knot on with. So, I'm just going to frog this. Whoa! I'm just going to frog this real quick. See, that soap, I swear it gets everywhere because there's oats in it and stuff. So frogging this baby out, we are going to work on, oh my gosh, my ear just itched really bad. Okay. Woo. So now we are going to work on the closure for the soap. So again, just make a slip knot. However you make them, there's no right or wrong. Again, no crochet police to come by and say, you made that slip knot wrong. Is it a slip knot? Great. Perfect even. So for the closure for the soap Snuggie, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Okay, I just made 12. So we're talking about this part right here. All right, this is that. And in the 3rd chain from the hook, we are going to do a double crochet. So not this one, but 1, 2, 3, and 2, a double crochet. Sorry for all of the shadows. I keep trying different lighting stuff and I'm having 0 luck. So I don't know. Probably need to have my daughter, who is a tech wizard and a photographer and all that kind of cool stuff, help me with the lighting, because quite frankly, she's just smarter than me. And she is going in the Army. We're just waiting for her clearance to go to MEPS, which is the medical clearance. And then she has to sign her contract. She wants to do civil affairs, which would be super cool. She originally wanted to do photography and cinematography in the Army, but then she blew up the ASVAB, which is their entrance exam. She did so well on it, that it opened up a whole bunch of jobs that she never had even considered. So yeah, so now she wants to do civil affairs, and I'm super proud of her. So there's that. Okay, one more, and et voila, we have finished. So we have this lovely little double crochet dealio here. And now we are just going to single crochet all around it. So I'm going to go right in to this kind of area right here. Do a single crochet and another single crochet. And then I'm going to figure out. So this, again, people, this is just a guide. Do whatever you want that makes the most sense for you when you're in the middle of doing it. And the only reason that I'm single crocheting around, so right here is the back of the work. Remember when we did that for the bottom of the soap thing? Just going around the back side of that original chain. But yeah, just, go where it sort of makes sense for what you're doing. And I would totally experiment with different yarns. I think this 85 cotton 15 polyester is a good blend because it won't shrink a ton, but it will tighten up a little bit, especially around the soap. And you know, I chose to do this color because I had an abundance of it. So, you know, certainly this would, and it would be great for somebody who has a bathroom sort of in these colors. I'm putting 2 single crochets down here at this end because I don't want it to pull and start turning up. And then just going now around the top of it. So as you can see, this closure is super duper 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 easy. And just like I did with the handle on the body polisher, I'm going to leave this tail pretty long. So I have plenty of yarn to use. So now what I would do is, I'm just going to turn this and say, oh, look at all that soap that just fell out. Wham! Is just take this, and I sewed it on the inside. You can see here, I just sewed it on the inside until it felt nice and snug, and then weaved in my ends, and that was kind of it. So that is the flappy flap. Oh my gosh, can you see? You probably can't even see all the soap. It's the oatmeal that's in the soap that's just going everywhere. Okay, so now let's make the button. And this is, I said, y'all, you're gonna laugh at me, but I can't help it because I don't know how to make buttons, and so I just made it up. So this is what you do. This is what I did. You certainly don't have to do this. You can actually look and find a real button somewhere if you if you want to. So chain 5. 1, whoopsie daisy, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slip stitch to make a loop in that first stitch. Okay, so now we have this little loopy thing. And then go into any 2 stitches that you want to. So like I'm going to go over here and get in there. And then I'm just going to go right here. And I'm going to single crochet. And you just keep doing that until you feel like you have a button. So I told you, this is not science. It is not professional crochet stuff. It was just what seemed to work for me. Now, there probably really are people out there that know how to make buttons. Oh, I thought there was a strand in there. Oh, there is right there. That little green thing. I don't want it there. There we go. So there, like I said, there are probably people that know how to actually make a button for crocheting. Now see, this is arg. This kind of drives me a little bit crazy. Can you see that? How the yarn is kind of pulling up. Yeah, it makes me want to drink sometimes. So anyway, I just did that. And that is my button. I'm not even kidding. That's it. And I have this green fuzzy yarn on my scissors. Anyway, so then you have these 2. You can make it a little bit bigger. You could sew a tail in if you wanted to make it fuller. But I just took this, and since it has these 2 tails, I sewed it kind of close up to the top, where I had those 2 rows of single crochets. I just sort of sewed it in there, and that is that. And then the flippity floppity closure part just comes over and you pull it through. and that closes your sew pin. So anyway, I hope that this all made sense, and thanks for listening to me ramble for a while just about my life. So weave in your ends, you're done with this project, and I will be back in another video with the face washer or eye makeup remover pad, and also the poof. So be well, be blessed, and I will talk with you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.